Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this show today. My name is Olu and this is
Adeola.
Alright, so you want to tell us what we are going to be talking about today?
I don't even know. I have no idea.
No idea?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe we'll talk about life generally. Life, yeah, anything.
What about life?
Okay, so what about life? Yeah, tell us.
Relax.
Oh, cool.
Okay, let's go. So in our last video, we talked about the story of the woman whose husband died, who had the husband did not allow him to a
Allowed to work, yeah.
well-to-do woman went to America, studied in America, went back to Nigeria, got married to this man. The man did not want her to work, retrieved everything that she had, made her incapacitated, emotionally, financially, everything, right? And then he later died. He died leaving 2 children with a.
How did he die?
He had leukemia.
He had leukemia.
The man had leukemia and died. So I think we did not go deep dive in. So in this video, we'll be going deep dive in.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about what it means to empower a woman. Olu, what do you think it means to empower a woman?
Well, before we go there, and I will actually answer your question, I think, like I was saying, how did he die? He died by having, he had leukemia, and his wife was there taking care of him throughout the whole time. So he incapacitated the woman at first, and then he himself got incapacitated. And the woman that he could have empowered to be a support system for him, or there should be support for each other. The woman could not help. Well, actually, the woman was taking care of him, but when I say help in other area, because help me. The wife is supposed to be the helpmeet, help in so many other areas. So he did not allow the woman to be empowered, and I think that is one major problem that they had, because at the end of the day, the woman was left with 2 children, going to private school, and she had no fund, no money, and no access to the fund. To break the camel's back, he made his brother the next of kin, so that the wife could not access the money. That was a very sad story.
So what do you think it means to empower a woman?
I think to empower a woman, you have to let go of old ways of thinking, right? The way, growing up, the traditional way of seeing a woman, a stay-home woman, a stay-home mom or wife, who just always take an out from her husband, because she's a stay-home, traditional, just when we look at movies, olden days movies, you see, the wife is just at home taking care, feeding baby, and cooking before the husband get home. So that by the time the husband is home, and the other will just come in and say, where's my food? And the woman will kneel down and say, my husband, no worry, and stuff. And then the woman will bring the food, and then the man will eat, and then relax and go to bed or do whatever. I mean, to empower a woman, you have to think about, for every person, every human being has something, has potential. So you have to think about harnessing the potential of that individual, in that woman.
Let's start from how does a person empower himself or herself? Let's start from there. Because if you are not self-empowered, how would you want to transfer that responsibility to someone else?
Yeah,
you have to be self-empowered. How can you empower yourself?
Discover yourself, discover your ability, discover your skills, and it's okay to start. I think I was speaking with a group of mentees at DreamRide recently, and we're talking about ability. Is okay. I think it's called the competent expertise model, and
Mm-hmm.
it talked about unconscious incompetent. So you start from that point where you don't even know what you don't know, right? You're incompetent, but you don't even know. It's okay to start from that point, but from there, you move on to conscious incompetent. Oh, I don't know how to do this thing. So now you are aware that you don't know how to do something. Then from there, you have to, you being aware mean that you have a responsibility to diffuse your ignorance, to begin to reduce ignorance and begin to increase your knowledge, which means you're
Mm.
now getting to a point of conscious we talked about unconscious
Conscious
incompetent, we
incompetence.
talked about conscious incompetent, and then we talk about uh, conscious competent, which
Mm-hmm.
means now you are at a point that you're growing, you're increasing your skill, you're building up your abilities, and now moving to a mastery point where you're just, you're competent unconsciously. You have unconscious competence, which means you can almost drive a car closed with your eyes closed, or you can do certain things which you're not even thinking about. So every person must move from that point where they start from, well, I don't know how, I don't have this ability, I don't have this strength, I don't have this, but you now realize that you know what you don't know, and now
Mm-hmm.
begin to work on it. So every man must first build on themselves, and see the other person, whether it's their wife or their husband.
Husband.
Every person must see that other person as someone who also need to be empowered, who also need to build up their own ability, and not just like a figurehead person that they keep in the house, go to work and then come back and meet the figurehead. I mean, I think that's what it means to be empowered, is to ensure that both parties are both building up their abilities and nest the potential that they have in themselves.
So another thing I think is important here is to remember that when you're thinking about empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
you can empower yourself mentally
Mm-hmm.
by going to school. You don't, I've seen situations where instead of going to school, a lady will say, because this, I have a boyfriend, my boyfriend, I want to get married to this person, then you defer
Defer
going to
your
school,
education, right?
you defer your empowerment, and then later down the future, later down the line in the future, you're now blaming someone else for your, like, other weakness now,
For
for your
you being
decision.
incapacitated, for you
Yes,
not
you
doing.
cannot blame anyone for your incapacitation. You have to know what you want and go for it. So if you know, you first, you have to know what you want. You have to know yourself, know
Mm-hmm.
what you want, and then go for it. That is
Mm-hmm.
empowering yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want, someone else
Mm-hmm.
will dish and give you what they think you deserve.
Yeah.
So I think it's
We
important
which
to,
speak about purpose, right?
yes,
Like if you don't know if the value of a thing, abuse is
inevitable,
inevitable.
inevitable. So
Inevitable.
it is important for us to remember, so when we're talking about empowerment, um, the mind, working on your mind, going to school, having the knowledge that you require, harnessing the skills that you have on the inside of you, getting to know yourself, empowering yourself, being
Mm,
aware of the kind of person that you are.
yeah.
It's very, very crucial.
So you mentioned going to school, and this lady that we're talking about, this lady in question, she actually went to school. She
That's
went to school
right.
in America, and then I'm sure she got the best of school, and she went to best of school, and but then she went to school and then she did not go to school again. We don't know the full detail, but we only watch a 1.5 minutes,
Mhm.
account of the story. But going to school, you must also, like Adela was talking about, you must also allow maybe allow school to pass through the point is allow yourself to be refined, allow your mind to be refined, right? To more like mental development, or boost your morale, whatever you have to do. Don't just go to school to study economics, to study medicine, to study whatever you study. I mean, go to school refining yourself, building on your self-worth, right? Knowing that, yes, I am who I am. I have this
The
ability
problem is
inside of
most people
me.
don't know who they are.
Yes.
So if you don't know who you are, and that is not even saying coming from the perspective of a Christian, like know who you are. Who are you at the
Yeah.
core?
Who are you?
What kind of person are you? Are you a kind person? Are you someone that loves to go? Are you ambitious? Because if you're a very ambitious person and you get married to someone that is also ambitious, or someone that doesn't want his wife or as a husband to work, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there have to be a reason. Why would a lady even allow the man to tell them, well, you've had all your degrees, you're not gonna work, you're just gonna stay at home. I'm gonna be giving you money. I mean, if you're not doing anything with the skill that you acquire, I mean, at some point the skill is going to,
Waste.
start slipping away because you would not know how to do anything, and now the man is now incapacitated, can no longer bring in money for the family. The woman who went to school, who initially got some skill, but have not put the skill to use, now see what happened.
I think one of the things that I see in this story is that the woman, maybe, and I'm not judging, I'm just saying from our story and from what I've seen in my little time, is that the woman, for women, there's something that we lack. We lack emotional empowerment.
Oh.
Yes. Some of us lack emotional empowerment. And when I say emotional empowerment, it means there are certain things that you want to do. You do it. When men want to do certain things, they don't make excuses. But for women, we try to make excuse. Oh, my daughter, my son, it's because of this person. It's because of this thing. That's why I don't want to do this right now. But when men want to do stuff, they go
We'll
for
get it
it.
done.
They get it done. If you see a woman that gets things done, most likely their emotional power is 100%. And it doesn't mean that they don't have other things going on for them. But when you see a woman that they want to do certain things and they get it done, most of the time that woman has emotional power, and that is one thing that is lacking in the lives of so many women. So that is why you see a woman who is, a go-getter, or maybe a woman who went to school, is a doctor, went to school to study medicine, and then got married to and gets married to that kind of person, and the person puts the lady at the back burner, puts the lady in the back burner.
Well, because the lady now feel, they need to be, submit to a man who has no, who have no drive. Let me put it that way.
Yes,
and
drive.
like, okay, I don't want to be too pushy. I don't want to. At some point, you have to. If you have a husband that is not the A type, and you are the A type, you have to. I mean, maybe we should break down what the person. If you are the woman that have that drive, and your husband have no drive, you have to get him to a point that he have.
Why are you even married to someone who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't have drive?
It'll be a little bit of a struggle,
because it's going to be a lot of struggle. Those are some of the things that we need to talk about before getting married, because most of the time we don't talk about these things. We don't talk about the things that are very crucial. We talk about, are you sure you love me?
Oh, really?
You did not tell me you love me yesterday.
Okay, sorry, I'll tell you now, I love you.
So those are some of the things that we should talk about before getting married.
Yeah.
What drives you? Do you have drive? Because we see all those things. We see all the signs. We can decipher when we are dating someone. This person, but you say, oh, I love.
Yeah.
But when you get into the marriage, you now see, like, there's no turning back. There's nothing you want to do. There's nothing else you want to do. But you should have talked about it. For us as a couple, there are certain things when those things happen now, we look back and we say we should have talked about this, right?
That's
we should have talked about this. But we're not talking about it. We're talking about some other things. So You know, those are some of the things. Those are some of the things that we should talk about.
And you brought up a good point, because yes, certain things we did not talk about that we should have talked about. But so if you are here, if you are at that point too, you can still sit down and talk about those things. So don't say, "Oh, we did not talk about it, and so we failed forever."
Right.
There's nothing like failing forever. I mean, yes, if you fail today, you can get yourself back up and and keep moving, right? So if you feel that you're at a point that you're not empowered, your spouse has not given you the chance to empower yourself, whether you are that man or you're that woman, you both can have a sit down conversation about it and see, because looking at the story of this woman, she she was left with 2 children, and now she's at the receiving end of it because she had no money, and the money is locked up. She has to take care of her kids and all of that. So at some point, like the traditional, I'm trying to put this in English now, how do I put it? I'm a Yoruba man, so I have to think first. I'm thinking it in Yoruba. I'm trying to translate it. Like when the bottom, when it is spoiled, right? It's going to be the portion of the person that had the bottom. Now we're going to have to find a way to interpret it for folks. So it means that when push comes to shove, when things go wrong, both of you will suffer the consequence. So have a sit down conversation, have a plan, have a vision. So if you have a spouse that did not bring vision into the marriage, help the person to see vision, help the person to gradually, or you be the vision to the person, so that the person can begin to see you, as, oh, okay, I can do this, or you help the person to paint the picture so that they can begin to now see themselves as a candidate to be empowered, a candidate that can do this. Oh, I can do this thing too. All right, let me try it a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's going to be both of you that will suffer. Yes, you can reach out to, friends and families and all of that. At the end of the day, both of you will suffer it.
That is very, very crucial. Talking about issues, yes, there's always a second and third and fourth chances that some of us have. So it's still good that you can have that sit down with your spouse or your partner and talk about these issues, those issues that you did not talk about before marriage. So speaking about that, what are some of the things that you think we can talk about prior to marriage, like for singles listening to us right now, or people who are currently dating? What are some of the things that you think we should, and using maybe our marriage as an example, what are some of the things that you think people should talk about before getting married?
I'm not a marriage coach or relationship coach, so
we are not marriage
disclaimer
coaches.
We're just,
I'm a life coach though.
We're just talking. Yeah, she's a life coach. I'm not a life coach. I'm just saying my own thing. And if you think what I'm saying, applies, you want to give me the title of a life coach, I'm just saying this. I think that when folks are dating, yes, you would want to address the issue of love. I mean, the issue of love is, it's almost automatic, because you're not attracted to the person. Then what's the point? Unless somebody is just trying to, forcefully matchmake you. But I don't think that happened this day. Like someone forcefully and say you have. But real conversation that you should have is, where are you going? Where do you see yourself in 1 year, 2 years, in 10 years? Where are you going? Where are you going is not, oh, I'm going from here to Maryland, or I'm going to America. No. Where exactly? Just give us an idea of where you see yourself. Do you see yourself holding this job for 20 years? Do you see yourself just being in this position?
Do you see yourself married to someone who doesn't work?
Yes, so that's another thing.
Some women want soft life.
Soft life, that they don't want to work.
They don't want to work. And some men also want their wives like that. They want a full housewife. They want a wife that won't go to work. They want a wife that when they travel and when they come back, their wife is in the house. They want someone who will manage the home front. They want someone who will take care of the children. They want someone who would manage the in-laws. Someone who is there. And there are some men who want their wives to work. So those are some of the things that people need to talk about before
Yeah.
getting married.
I think stories like the story of this woman should be an example to, for you, our viewers. So using having that conversation with your spouse. So if you are that type that your spouse have said you cannot work, or I'm just gonna be the one giving you money, or you just be a stay-home person, you're not gonna work, and there's no money, I only have a little bit. Because if you're depending on someone else, there's only so much that that person can give you, at the end after settling, all the other bills. But if you are going out there to fetch the money for yourself, you double up what you're bringing into the family, and then you can be able to do more. So my point is, conversation like, where do you see yourself going? Let me see if I also see myself going in that same direction. Because if you're not both going in the same direction, like one is going here, the other is going here, and the man will say, oh, traditionally the woman should follow me, and then the woman say, no, will I let go of my own vision for it? So have that conversation, so that it's not, because once you go in, into the marriage, it's like you're going into a door that only have a doorknob from the outside. Like, I think my pastor explained that from the outside, there's no doorknob on the inside. The only way you can get out once you are in is to break the door. And break the door, that means divorce, and homes are going to be shattered and all of that. So have that conversation. Where do you see yourself going, so that we align before we say yes, I do.
It is very important to align in the mind, aligning in the spirit, aligning in the body. Most of the time is just aligning of the body.
Yeah.
We're not aligning mentally, we're not aligning spiritually. I think this has been a good discussion.
Yeah,
right?
good one. Maybe a little long, but I think it's been so we really started by talking about empowerment. And yes, we used the case story of the woman that her husband died, because she had leukemia. Her husband did not allow her to work and all of that, and locked up the money,
for 21 years.
Until the kids clocked 21. So, which is a result of the husband not allowing the wife to work. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure the wife will be begging, or will not have to go and retrain herself to get back in the job market, or be able to fetch money. So have that conversation. It may also be the wife, that is working, and the wife say, okay, and the husband agreed to stay at home, even though that's rare. But it can go both ways. So have that conversation. Don't go the traditional way, like the man is just going to work and the woman is staying at home. Don't go because the world that we are in does not really have room for going the traditional way, right?
Right.
Because everybody have to bring something in. Everybody have to feel value. As you're bringing stuff in, you're also feeling value. You're feeling that you're contributing something, right, to the family. Any final thoughts?
I think my final words will be, everyone has something on their inside. So if you're a man or a woman and you feel like you don't have anything to give, or you feel like, I just need to stay back, I don't have to go to work, my husband or my wife is already the breadwinner, I think you should think about it. God has deposited something inside you. And in this age, there are so many things that you can do. Even if you feel like the money that you're going to make is going to be like a drop in the ocean. You can still do something and save that money for the future, for rainy days, for when nobody's praying for anything bad to happen. But you can save it for yourself. You can save it for your children or your children's children. So everybody has something that you can give and share value to the world. So don't fold your hands. Don't fold your hands.
Don't fold your hands. Yeah. That's a nice one. A lot of nice nugget that we've shared today. I'm sure our viewers will put a comment, comment below, and let us know what you think about this video. You want to close it out for us?
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening today. We appreciate you so much. Like Olu said, please like this video, share, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comment section. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.